Hello everyone, A.M.R. weather here, and today we'll be discussing everything about the tropics as Ernesto turns post-tropical. Here are the sea surface temperatures. In the open Atlantic, they've cooled slightly again thanks to Ernesto, which is good. So that means that storms can't intensify quicker as they usually do, but it should be back up in no time, so y'all will have to still watch out. In the open Atlantic, the average temperature is 27 degrees, and in the Gulf of Mexico, it is 31, might even be 32 now. In the Caribbean Sea, the average temperature is 29, and then in the MDR, or Main Development Region, the average temperature is 28 degrees. Well, here are the ensemble models. This is for the GFS as of 12 p.m. You can see they have something starting to form. They want to try to start it to form over the Yucatan Peninsula about the end of August, but I don't think that will happen. But it might be a quick system. I think at most it'll be a tropical depression. But then they're saying that a tropical wave as of about the 4th of September starts to get its act together and maybe makes landfall in Florida as a strong tropical storm. Here's the European model. The European model is saying a different story. It is not quite seeing any systems until probably sometime early, I would believe, September. Lastly, here is the Canadian model. The Canadian model has that wave trying to develop, but it never ends up doing it. Maybe tries to go into the East Pacific right there and develop into something. And then as we go throughout, there really isn't a whole lot. It's going to be a quiet rest of the month now that Ernesto's gone. I mean, maybe a little wave watching, but it should start getting active again by the end of August to the beginning of September. And that is peak hurricane season. September 10th is the peak of hurricane season, so it should be very active then. Well, here is the wind shear, but there's nothing to worry about really, because that one wave that does try to form, you see it there, it gets squashed by wind shear. So even if it does develop, it's only going to be a depression. And that system won't become very strong because it's in just surrounded actually by Saharan dust and wind shear there. Next is the vorticity. You can see that it looks pretty quiet here. I mean, there's one or two little signs. There's that wave that tries to get going. You could see it in the... Oops, didn't mean to click on that. Here it is trying to get going in the Gulf of Mexico. You could see it tries to get organized as that spin to it almost, where it's darker in the counterclockwise spin. And then it gets itself pretty tightly wrapped. It might be a Chris type of situation that we had earlier this year. Chris was only around with us for half a day, and then it vanished into Mexico. And here is the second one that they have getting quite tight for a tropical storm when it makes landfall. But before that, there is a possibility that we could see something else, because there is this circle right here of vorticity that looks to be a tropical wave go over the Yucatan. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe we could see something out of both of the systems? I don't think so. Here is what the Atlantic looks like currently. There is some tropical waves coming off of the coast of Africa here. There's some open waves that are out in the MDR, although they are kind of squashed because of some dry air and wind shear. In the Caribbean Sea, there is some activity, but I don't want to say it's tropical. And then just a couple showers from the front in the open Atlantic. Well, here is the Atlantic. The Atlantic has nothing going on except for post-tropical Ernesto, but there's nothing in the next week or two that we will really have to look at. Here's the Eastern Pacific. There's Tropical Storm Gilma, which formed a couple of days ago. And sometime late tomorrow is forecast to become a hurricane, possibly even a Category 2. So we'll have to watch out for that, although no one will have to be concerned about it, as it's going to die out when it's at sea. There is a 50% chance of a low pressure area that will start to form next week or earlier this week. And lastly, this is the main area we're watching out in the Central Pacific. Could we finally be having Hone? Yeah, we could be talking about our first Central Pacific storm in a couple of years. As of 2 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time, it has an 80% chance to develop in both the next 2 days and in the next week. So who knows, Force 13, you might have to cancel out those I'm still waiting for Hone's shirt, although I really did want to get one. And lastly, here is the ocean heat content. You can see it is quite high in the Caribbean Sea, basically all of it in some form of yellow or red. And the Gulf of Mexico has been getting its start on. It's almost all entirely yellow, if not green or above. And the Gulf Stream is starting to recover after Ernesto came through. Well, I just want to say thank you all for coming in and watching this video with me. And as always, stay safe